know for me, like you talking about that was such a mindset shift for me, because I definitely went through a stage of like only thinking, I feel like, of what I need to cut out, like cutting out this, restriction. Yes,
this is Jayla's big hot take. Not that I disagree, but like I just have heard
like
you
it's
talk
so
about
expensive to eat healthy, and I don't necessarily think that. Controversial, ding ding ding. All right, welcome back to another episode of Sister Sip Podcast. I feel like it's been quite a while since we've sat down to do one of these.
Yes, we took a little holiday in December.
Yeah.
So we're excited to be back. And today we don't have a drink recipe for you guys. We're just sipping on some like a herbal tea blend, a cozy peppermint chamomile tea for the winter. So
it's really good.
It is really good. So let's just go ahead and jump right into what's been brewing for the past little bit. You just got done telling me that you don't have any life updates.
I feel like you just didn't really write any down, because I feel like they're very similar to yours. You probably have a little bit more than me, but of course it was like Christmases.
Yeah. Nothing eventful.
Christmases, we went to Florida for Christmas, which was really fun with my family for about a week.
Yeah.
It was nice to get to the warmth, and yeah, it was just kind of a fun little getaway for a while. And I feel like I literally don't have much. And it's kind of just been the cold, depressing winter. But
yeah,
hey, we've got some snow the last couple days, which has probably made it a little bit more fun for people. I'm just someone, I know it's not good. I just honestly hardly can find any good in the winter. Like, I hate the winter.
Yeah.
Which is not.
I would tend to agree, but I'm really working on that. And I think this winter I've actually been not as depressed.
Okay.
Like, I think, but I've had to be really, really intentional about it.
Yeah, I definitely do know it's something I need to work on. It's not a great thing to complain about, but it's just, Oliver and I think, are just pretty much both the same way on that. We just, someday when we're old and rich, I think we'd like to, just like go somewhere warm for the winter.
Snowbirds.
And
Yeah, I agree. That sounds nice. Yeah, I feel like life hasn't been as busy. Wintertime is like kind of slows down, so I feel like that makes us not have as much like going on. It's just kind of every day, which is one perk of winter. I know it's kind of boring, but like I just feel like in the summertime it is like so busy that I'm kind of enjoying just like a restful few months.
Yeah.
So
that is a good thing.
That's a good perk.
Kind of having like slower evenings together and not it kind of like you can't do as much stuff, especially like we always have, I feel like, lots of outdoor projects we could always be doing, but obviously you can't really do those in the winter. So yeah.
Have you not done any home projects recently?
We're hoping to get carpet installed soon, but
oh right,
not really anything other than like some painting touch-ups.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if
a few little things here and there. Yeah, nothing major.
We haven't really done any projects either besides redecorating. I don't know. Yep, nothing super. Although this is the time to be doing it, but Keegan's doing like a contracting job.
Oh yeah,
like a little side job, so he's more focused on that instead of like doing stuff in our house for now. So maybe come springtime or like later winter, we'll be able to work on some of our house projects. I actually don't have a ton of life updates either. Like you said, we went to Florida as a family. I don't know, it was a very nice, relaxing time. Keegan and I really both enjoyed it. I felt like we just kind of needed that time of like just to kind of get away from some of the stress in our lives, just to, I don't know, vacation's always good.
Yeah.
And what did we do? We went to a zoo. We went to the beach a couple days, which always makes me really happy.
Definitely could have spent more time there.
Definitely. I don't know. I know we did more stuff, but we played a lot of games.
A zoo, like cat park.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was. We got you and Oliver into Cover Your Assets.
Oh, yes. That is a very fun game. Neither I feel like me or Oliver are huge game people, but that's like a game both of us can get on board, and it's really fun.
It was really fun.
Really easy to learn, and it's, it kind of goes
and
fast-paced.
But it gets really competitive, which makes it really fun.
Yeah. We should link that game. If you want a good game suggestion, that's a really fun one. Yes. Especially if you're not a super game person.
And
that makes sense.
I feel like the winter is the perfect, like, cozy time to break out games. Yeah. I feel like this is when we have a lot of, like, game days with friends. Like, we can't be going and playing stuff outside. So we'll do a lot of like game nights or like Sunday afternoons. So I have down that I've been getting back into making sourdough because I left my sourdough starter in the fridge for like 6 months. And I got it out and it just like would not revive. I fed it like 5 times and it just never really rose very much. So I told Jayla, and you were like, just take some of my starter and just kind of restart. So that's what I done. That's what I did. And it grew really nice and bubbly, but I've made probably 3 or 4 loaves and they've all been like kind of fails.
Okay.
I do know that I'm kind of bad about letting things overproof.
Okay.
But my last one, I felt like I tried to keep a good eye on it, and it still was flat. I might need to try a new recipe. I don't know if you have any thoughts, tips, or advice for me.
That's something I'm going to be talking about later on. We haven't even told them what the episode's about yet.
We're going to be giving you lots of life advice from 2 early 20s girls who definitely know what we're doing in life.
Yes, but yeah, just some tips and stuff. But yeah, I will link a sourdough recipe because I wanted to anyway.
Okay, I need to try yours.
Me.
I'm just going to try maybe. Yeah, I know that that's what you use, so I might try that next time. Because I'm like, maybe I just need a new technique.
Yeah. And I feel like in the winter, it's really easy to get away with just like making it in the evening, like kind of late evening, and then shaping it and putting it in the fridge in the morning. And that's pretty fail proof because it's like
your house isn't as hot.
Your house isn't as hot, and like that's a pretty good time.
So do you leave it out overnight?
Yes.
On the counter?
Yeah. Like start it late evening, like I don't know, something like 7:30 or 8.
Yeah. So you want it to be like up, done by the time you're going to, like just as you're going to bed, kind of. Yeah. That makes sense.
And sometimes I do like 20 minutes between stretch and folds instead of 30 minutes if I don't have a lot of time. I feel like it still works out.
That's a good
tip. So you
tip.
can kind of get it all done like in an hour instead of an hour and a half.
Yeah. I just thought I would mention that. Yeah. I wanted to see if Jayla had any tips for me because my last loaf I was just kind of like, okay, that's a really annoying.
I also noticed in your YouTube video, which maybe it was just that one video, it really stuck to your cloth.
Yeah, I didn't flour it enough.
Okay.
Or did you
want to use rice flour? Do you use regular flour?
Yeah.
I think that's why you use rice flour because I think it really makes things not stick as much.
Okay, that's a good tip.
That's probably why, because you usually don't need it. Like, I don't feel like I really ever struggle with it sticking, and I think regular flour can do that. And rice flour is not like you need to like cake a ton. I just like sprinkle some in. But yeah, I think that's
I just need to buy some.
Benefit of using rice flour. What I've read up on or whatever.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Today was a big day for Ginger and George.
Oh, yeah.
As they got spayed and neutered. Ginger is definitely a bit lethargic. She was like unsteady and like she like fell kind of sideways against our chair when she was on the way to her food bowl. But they're doing pretty good. They're hanging in there. I don't know. I don't know if you feel this way. Probably not with your cats, but I felt this way with Pepper. Like, I just feel kind of guilty taking them.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, you know you're inflicting pain. It's going to be, like, this big, scary day, like, painful, scary day for them.
Yeah. Is that Mom and Dad?
Oh, shoot. My parents are here. We might have to take a pause on this. But because they were being all sweet this morning, and I like picked them up to like bring them into their kennel. I felt like I was betraying them. And then they were like, of course, on the way there, like crying. And I was just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's for your own good.
So
for our own good.
Yeah, for our good. But in the long run, because a part of me is like, Ginger's never gonna be a mom. But I'm also like, they don't like raise their children. They just like have them, and then they usually like get given away. It's not like usually they're not like lifelong companions. Yeah, they're not missing out on like a whole life with their children. So another thing, I don't know if you remember when I talked about it when Pepper got spayed, my experience with that lady who was a little nasty to me.
Yeah. Not the friendliest.
But today she was like so nice, and she was like, "You just look so pretty and so put together today."
Okay.
I was like, oh,
that was
I was
nice
like literally
change.
shocked. I felt like I was like walking on eggshells around her.
Yeah.
Did
she remember you, do you think?
I don't feel like she does.
Because
she didn't like ask about my other cat.
Yeah.
But because I knew that she's kind of snippy. So I was kind of like trying not to make any mistakes or do anything, because I was just like trying to get it over with. And then she was just like super friendly. And so.
Okay, well, that's good.
Maybe she isn't so bad.
Yeah.
And my last little thing is on New Year's Day. It was really fun. 5 years ago in 2020, we wrote like goals for ourselves in like 5 and then like 20 years or something. Like, and so we had never opened them, so we were able to like finally open them, and we like wrote them when we were dating, and I don't even know like how I feel like we weren't even that far along dating. So we must have been thinking we were gonna get pretty serious. And
so this was like 2019. The end of 2019.
I don't know. I almost think it was the end of 2020 because we
would have been dating for like a while.
Yeah, that kind of made more sense.
Okay, yeah.
So it was kind of fun to see, like, honestly, we were doing pretty good with like the goals that we had. Like,
okay. Is this goals that you wanted to see happen in 5 years? Or
like where we wanted to be in life. Like, an example was like to maybe, I don't even know, like to be saving up for a house or to have bought a house.
Okay, yeah.
So it was like, okay, we've bought a house. Yeah. And I think probably when we wrote that, we thought Keegan was going to go to college and we might have been like living in a different state. Yeah. Like our life may have like looked a little bit different. So you could kind of see that. But it was also interesting, like just some of our goals have changed or I don't know. And then we like opened it and then we rewrote some for, I forget, the next 5 or the next 10 years. Yeah. So it's kind of fun too.
Yeah, that's a good
open
idea.
Up.
Yeah.
And I was just like super excited to see like what we had written back then.
It sounds fun to write so that you can look back at it.
And part of me wondered when we were writing some of them, like, are we gonna look back and be like, wow, you like little did you know?
Yeah.
Or like like just your goals were kind of immature or something. I don't know, because like there was some of that with ours too. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I had.
So our episode today is going to be about, I don't know, do we have a good title for it? I don't remember what we exactly we're going to call it.
Well, I was thinking like habits that we've created that have like changed or improved our lives.
Yes.
So just giving you a little life advice. I feel like it's kind of good for in January. This is coming out the end of January. So you may or may not have New Year's resolutions. Maybe you're getting a little stale with the New Year's resolutions. Yeah. So hopefully these are like attainable like inspiration.
Yeah, they're kind of like, some of them are really kind of like healthy habits / saving money habits.
Yeah, I would say. I do feel like a lot of mine are health related, so take that with a grain of salt. Obviously everyone has like controversial opinions about health, so you can take what we say or leave what we say, but
okay, so my first one I feel like is more just a save money tip, and that's Walmart pickup. It is mostly what I do all my grocery shopping with. The majority of my groceries come from Walmart pickup. First off, I don't really like to shop. And maybe that's because I do have a job. Not that if you don't have a job, you like to shop. But I feel like usually it's like at the end of a work day, I don't feel like going to the grocery and getting all my groceries. I guess I could go on my day off or my days off, but then I'm like, I don't feel like going to the grocery.
It like takes up a lot of time sometimes.
And I don't really, not necessarily something I enjoy anyway, but I feel like it really does save money.
I will say this year I have started doing pickup. Either I'll do Aldi pickup, which I really like because they're really fast with getting it ready. Like if you need groceries fast, like Walmart's times it takes like several hours.
Yeah, other places do pickup too. It doesn't necessarily have to be Walmart.
I feel like I do, like if I need like bulk groceries, like okay, my week's worth of groceries. But if I need like 2 things, then I'll just like run into the grocery.
I like it because like first off, throughout the week, if you think of what you need, you can just go ahead and put it in your cart. Like you don't have to really make a list. It's like, oh, I need him out of
that's
this or
true.
That. So I'll just like add like, oh, we need deodorant and shampoo or something. Let me just add it real quick, even if I'm not getting it for like another week or something.
That's a good idea.
It's also really good. It's easy to compare prices on there because it usually says like if you're like looking up toilet paper, let's say, it'll give you like the options, and then like usually will say like on the side, I think, you know, how much it is a roll or whatever, and like food can be that way too.
See like how much per ounce. Yeah, that is helpful.
It's like really easy just to price compare right there. And also if you're someone who like, for a lot of food that I buy, especially if it's processed food, like I like to not ultra processed, no. If it's like something that's not just a single ingredient food, I like to read ingredients. Yeah, it's easy. It's almost easier to compare stuff on there versus I guess at the store. You're like picking things up. Okay, picking another one up. Like it's easy right on there. You can just click it and then read the ingredients. Okay, that looks good, and add it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. It's easy. You can do that all like at home and then just add it there, and you're not tempted. I feel like it's way more tempting when you go to a grocery store to like get things that you don't actually
that looks
like.
Good.
Yes, that looks good, or that'd be a fun treat, or those sound good. Like it's a lot easier to like stick to a plan when you're doing
that's
pickup.
true. I definitely
it's
stick
like it's like things that you're thinking of that you need right then, not necessarily like you're browsing down aisles and like this and that looks good.
Yeah, that's a good one. So this is one that I have really, a lot of these maybe are ones that like this year I've like implemented, and this might be one that you have as well. I feel like maybe some of ours will overlap, and that is eating breakfast and just eating enough.
Yeah.
I know that, you know, fasting or skipping breakfast can be controversial, so obviously do your research. I am talking kind of more from a standpoint of a woman, and more specifically a woman in her quote-unquote childbearing years. Yeah. I know I don't have children, so it's not necessarily like the years that you want children. It's like after puberty through like, I don't know,
menopause or something.
Menopause time. Not fully like eating enough and nourishing yourself is going to kind of not do great things for your hormone health, which can be your fertility. And even if you don't want kids, your like reproductive like hormones and everything are super important to be like you want to have good healthy cycles, because that tells a lot about your health. So that's been something that I've been learning about. Even though I don't have kids, it doesn't matter, you know.
It doesn't just mean like
if you're wanting kids. It's good to be thinking about that now. Or you're wanting
kids this year. Like it's just good to.
And I think that it's been helping to, because like when you are fasting and not eating enough, your body starts to use other things for energy, and you start to use up like cortisol, your stress hormones. And that's something that I've had to watch, because I noticed that I had super high cortisol and I would get very stressed very easy. And that's just been one change that I've implemented. Obviously it's not perfect, but I still struggle to eat breakfast. Like that's not easy for me. I have to really be intentional. Like I could, if I didn't know that it was bad for me, I would skip breakfast. It's like I don't really enjoy it. It's inconvenient. But it's worth it because, you know, trying to prioritize my health and not being super stressed all the time.
Yeah. I feel like breakfast for me is something an easy habit for me to implement anyway, because I am someone who like does just like breakfast. But for me, are you kind of done with that point?
Yeah, I am.
For me, one of the points I wrote down, I'll just skip to that one. I guess I didn't write it down. Okay. It's eating enough protein, and that is something
that is kind of hand in hand.
I've implemented in my breakfast. Is I definitely probably eat way more protein in my breakfast than I used to. Like I'm a lot more mindful of that. So I usually try to eat. I probably usually eat 25 to 40 grams of protein in breakfast.
That's really good.
And I don't know if I get to 40 very much. Some of that is, it depends on what meal I make. And some of that is counting. Like if you make like a latte, let's say milk has protein in it.
Yeah.
So a cup of milk has 8 grams of protein in it. I like to add collagen powder to my drinks, and that has protein in it too. So I'm not necessarily like physically eating that much protein, but I usually like to like top off my protein with or get to those points with like drinks and stuff like milk and collagen powder.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually eating.
I do struggle to get, because my goal is kind of to get 30 grams of protein in my breakfast.
Yeah.
And this is not me trying to like gain.
Yeah.
It's really just to feel good throughout the day and to know that I'm like nourishing myself and I'm giving my body energy.
Yes. And it really helps, number one, keep you full for a long time. And I definitely think I have heard that it helps like your sweet tooth cravings.
Okay.
And I feel like that has worked for me, but it's also hard to say because I'm not someone who naturally feel like has a big sweet tooth. But I did feel like once I started implementing eating more protein, I did notice it go down more.
Yeah.
So
I can see it.
But yeah, I mean, eating enough protein in general is just great for you. So, but yeah, it sounds like a lot at first. Like when I started doing it, I'm like, oh, it's so much. But then once you get in the habit of it, it's really not that hard. Like bread does have protein in it.
Yeah.
Like a slice of bread or like whatever. Like there is still like, I think, 6 to 8 grams of protein in like your side of bread. So yeah, and then eggs and like feta cheese or cottage cheese, adding that to your eggs is great. And then yeah, literally just like your morning latte has a good amount of protein in it if you're putting milk in it, and
if you want to add some
collagen powder, like is a great thing to add to your coffee.
Lots of great benefits as well.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, So, yeah, protein is one of the things. I feel like I'm not as intentional about it during lunch and supper, but breakfast, for some reason, it's just easier for me to be intentional about it. And I think lunch and supper, it's easier almost to get that in because you're eating more, like, meat. Like, you're almost eating, I don't know. I feel like it's easier to get that in without thinking about it as much. But, yeah, breakfast is just something I'm more intentional about.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, okay, this is on to more food things. And one thing that I was thinking is having more mindful versus fearful eating.
Mm-hmm.
For one, educate yourself on the foods that you're eating. Some of the things that I have started learning about is seed oils.
Controversial. Ding, ding, ding.
Seed oils, food dyes.
High fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, processed sugars.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like, do your research. And you're allowed to disagree. Just do your research. But I also am, like, learning that to not demonize foods as well. Like, in my home, I'm going to do the best that I can to cook nourishing meals that make us feel good, that are supporting our bodies. But when you go to your families on the holidays and there's cookies and, you know,
I hate even saying cookies because it makes it sound like you can't eat sweets.
That's actually
that's
a bad
what
point.
You meant, but I feel like that's a bad thing to say.
This is a better example. Okay. Like, there's like lots of casseroles
with food dyes and
casseroles with like seed oils in the canned soups. I know. I don't feel like I agree.
Don't ever want to, like, demonize. I feel like sometimes people think it's like
cookies are bad.
Healthy eating is you can't eat cookies. Like, that's not at all what we're trying to say.
Yeah, that's true. But it's also like, if you kind of, you know, it's holidays, like, eat, enjoy, be thankful that somebody, like, made you a meal. It's gonna be okay. I mean, I guess unless you have, like, an allergy. But and also you're out with your friends, you're going out to eat, you're getting Chick-fil-A, you're traveling, like, not feeling like, oh my word, like,
this is so bad
for
me.
This is like you're just going to mess up your body. Yeah, it's okay. Just when you're at home and when you're grocery shopping, be intentional and like have fun making really good meals and not this like big fearful of like trying to cut out all these things.
Yes.
I think things like seed oils, food dyes, and processed sugars, those are kind of my big things. I think one reason why I don't have a problem cutting those out and almost like demonizing them at home is because they're super easy to replace
in your cooking.
With like avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, sugars you can use, even a less processed cane sugar, maple syrup, honey. And obviously you don't have to use food dyes that often, but you can
really never have to use food dyes.
You can find alternatives.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like those, I'm not like cutting out like no more baked goods. Like it's super easy to bake without those things.
I agree. Like it's, by the way, like olive oil and avocado oil, I don't think you're going to notice any sort of difference to sub that out when you're baking, even like your sweet treats.
Yeah.
Like I really don't think, like it's such an easy thing. Like I don't really think there's any need to ever actually need seed oils for something.
Yeah. Like
canola oil. Like literally if you sub those oils out, like you're not really going to taste any difference, I don't think.
And did you have a link to that article by Dr. Ray Peat?
Yes.
I know I would obviously don't just take like us saying something and you might hear us and be like, okay, like
yes.
Do your own research, read up on some articles.
Yeah.
You have a really good one.
I think I'm going to link, first off, I'm going to link maybe 1 or 2 Instagram pages that I think are really helpful. And then there is a good article I'm going to link to that I had seen about seed oils. This is kind of interesting if you've never read up on it. But yeah, this is not trying to like
make you feel bad.
You need to do this too. It is honestly just like good, healthy tips. I know for me, like you talking about that was such a mindset shift for me because I definitely went through a stage of like only thinking, I feel like, of what I need to cut out, like cutting out this,
restriction.
Cutting out this. Restriction, yes. And then it was like a whole mindset change. Instead of thinking about what I like need to be restricting, thinking about like nourishing myself and what foods would be the most like nourishing for my body. And that, like when you have that mindset shift, I feel like it's a lot like you don't think, and you're not thinking of like depriving yourself as much as like, oh, what would like be eating what can I eat that would like be the best to support my body?
And also like enjoying your food. That's so important.
Yeah,
just, like,
you don't want to just like eat all these like, it's not like you have to eat all these bland foods and stuff.
Yeah, totally agree.
I think people think that eating healthy is so expensive.
Yeah, this is Jayla's big hot take. Not that I disagree, but like I just have heard you talk about this. It's so
expensive to eat healthy, and I don't necessarily think that. And maybe I'm naive. Maybe I haven't did all the numbers. But one easy way to eat healthy is cooking from scratch. If you cook things from scratch, it's really like, I feel like you're saving money, or it's like very similar.
I will say one thing. I agree. Like it's hard. It is expensive to like buy all organic produce if you're thinking like.
I don't even do that, but yes.
Yeah. Yes. But to like, cook a healthy meal.
Yes. And I think even though like obviously like avocado and olive oil I feel like are more expensive than just regular canola oil. And I usually bake with raw cane sugar instead of regular sugar. But okay, the bottom line is I don't bake that many sweet treats. I'm not like going through sugar like that.
Yeah.
Or even oil. And when you start to like make things from scratch, you save a lot of money, I feel like, because you don't like buy all the pre-made stuff. And also, if you cut out a lot of like unhealthy, like unnecessary junk food.
Yeah.
Like there's so much stuff I feel like that you buy that you don't actually need to buy.
Yeah.
Like if you're cooking good, nourishing meals, you don't need like all the
Oreos,
chips and cookies on the side. I'm not trying to demonize chips and cookies. I like chips and cookies still. But like you don't need, like if you just buy like whole ingredient things or very like minimally processed stuff, your grocery bills are not that much. And you're making most things from scratch. Like I make a lot of my like tortillas, breads, English muffins, like most of my meals from scratch, so that I'm not buying all those stuff, so that I'm saving money even on bread by making it myself. Like,
yeah. And it's a healthier option.
It's a healthier option than if you were to go and buy try to buy a healthier option. If you try to buy the healthier option of stuff, typically it is a lot more money.
Yeah.
And there is still some stuff that I do buy, like seed oil free mayo is expensive.
Yeah.
But we don't go through mayo that much. So
yeah.
It's fine with me. But I do not feel like my grocery budget. Like I feel like we spend a really decent amount on groceries every week.
Decent as in a decent budget.
Like I don't feel like it would look any I don't feel like it would be so much higher than someone else's because we eat healthy is what I mean. But
yeah. I probably not, especially like things like if you drink pop all the time and like have all the snacks add up so much.
Snacks do. And
I'm not
saying I'm completely right on this. Maybe you're like, no, Jayla, you're so wrong on that. But I just feel like it's not necessarily true to say that. And you don't have to like switch everything out to like raw cane sugar and seed oil free mayo, whatever. But I'm just like, it's not like it's so expensive to eat healthy.
It does take extra time sometimes.
Yes, time, and it is definitely, it's easier if you enjoy. Like if you enjoy to bake, like I enjoy usually always making breads and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of just like a fun hobby to me, so it doesn't feel like it's such a burden to do all that. But yeah. Anyway.
Get off your soapbox now. My next one is something that I've been implementing probably the past month or two, and that is intentionally hasn't happened every night, trying to wind down. So starting to turn to low lights, like not having the overhead light. Yeah. Right now. We do have a studio light.
Yeah.
Like the lamps, and Keegan and I have started like trying to read a book before bed to wind down. Sometimes I'll like make us an herbal tea. It's kind of a vibe. Like we sit in bed, we drink our herbal tea, read our book. I like to put a little bit of lavender oil in our diffuser. Just having like a little wind down routine instead of like, sometimes I'd be like, go, okay, good night, bye, or bye, but like, okay,
bye,
going to sleep, and it's like, sometimes I don't always sleep that great, so that's kind of like a nice way to help to get into a mindset to just like slowly, relax and get ready for bed.
I'm thinking back to me talking about the healthy thing.
Yeah.
I literally just bought these expensive, this is just like, I don't know, like a special treat thing.
Yeah.
Definitely don't always, I do still buy some things that I don't need to buy. I bought these expensive, like, dye-free cane sugar sour gummies on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I'm wanting, like, some, like,
like a sour treat.
Yes, and I know that like I totally, it's like it would be fine if I was just go to get like regular
Sour Patch Kids.
Yes. But I was like, I was just going to look it up. Anyway, I bought them. That was kind of just a little splurge. We'll see. Like, if you're still like buying all these snacks and stuff and buying the healthy versions of them, like, yes, that definitely does add up very quickly, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, I was just thinking I did buy those today on Amazon. My next one is making your own soap. Literally all you need is essential oils and cast style soap, which you should just, I think, be able to buy at Walmart, and water, and to make like your own hand soap. I don't think I've bought hand soap in
I need to do that.
such a long time. It's so easy. I feel like Mom did that a lot growing up, and so we just grew up doing a lot of that. It's so easy. I just kind of eyeball everything now. Like, literally just fill up your water. Like, get a foaming hand soap dispenser. And then, just fill it up mostly with water. I think like 2/3 with water. Dump in 1/3 cast style soap. And then like maybe 10 drops of essential oil. Mix it up and you're good to go. You have hand soap. And I feel like that definitely is a good way to save money because I feel like it's very cheap ingredients. I don't know how much it costs to make one bottle, but I think it's probably, I don't know, close to $1, under $1.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's kind of a fun, easy way. And of course I feel like you're about to laugh.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I need to do that because I actually have dispensers that I haven't used.
Okay.
But I feel like I keep getting like gifted soap, so I need to like use those up. But like, I need to make my own. Like, that sounds easy.
It's very easy, very cheap. We don't need to get into a whole nother controversial conversation about fragrances. But I would just say, for me in my home,
canceled.
I don't like to have. I definitely still have some things. I sometimes still will use Dawn dish soap on certain things, or like my deodorant.
Not Dawn.
Yeah. Even my shampoo, I think, has fragrances in it, even though it's supposed to be like a healthier shampoo. Anyway, we're not going to get to that whole conversation. But I do like to avoid artificial fragrances.
Yeah.
Things that say they have fragrance added to them, which is in a lot of hand soaps. So, yeah, that is a good, very cheap, easy way to save money. Plus, maybe be a little healthier.
Next one is what I've been doing for maybe 3-4 years now, which is cycle tracking. And lately I've been kind of cycle syncing, more so with my exercise. I am like, it is so interesting to track your cycle and to know where you are in your cycle, so you know like why you maybe have higher energy, better mood, kind of grumpy. Like, you just kind of know where you're at. It's actually really helpful and interesting to just know what's going on in your body. Tracking your basal body temperature, and there's other ways to do it. And I've been trying to, like, when we go to the gym and work out, like, when I will do a little bit more high intensity when I'm in my follicular phase, which is when you have the most energy. And then during my luteal phase, I'll try to do more of like a low impact, because from the research I've done, could be controversial as well. I don't know how many times I'm going to give this disclaimer. It can be not great to be like doing super high intensity during your luteal phase. It can actually shorten your luteal phase, which is not a good thing. It kind of is making your cortisol super high once again, and can like lower your progesterone, which you're supposed to have during that phase. So kind of interesting to do some research, and you can even like look up even foods, I think, that are good. I haven't really done a lot of that, but that's another interesting thing to look into.
Okay, and this one, everyone's heard this, I'm sure, about sourdough bread. But you don't even have to make sourdough bread. You can just make old-fashioned, regular bread. It's still, I feel like, going to save you money to make it. Better for you because it's pretty, like, simple ingredients and tastes better. But so you don't even have to make sourdough bread. But, of course, I like to make sourdough bread, and I really think sourdough bread is easier than people think. And I'm for sure I've already talked about sourdough bread on here. But I will link an easy recipe. And one way that one by Farmhouse on Boone.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't even have to make, like, a bowl. Boule, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I honestly like using just a plain sourdough recipe, like just the water, starter, flour, and salt. Like the same recipe that I'm going to link, but make a sandwich loaf out of it. You can bake it like a sandwich loaf instead of baking it in an artesian Dutch oven, you just put a lid on, like, another bread pan on top of it.
I know, I need to try
if
that.
that makes sense. I'll link that method of doing it too. But yeah, that's a really easy way. I've been liking to make it because it's not, you don't have to be as finicky with proof times. Like, it's not like it's going to be flat since it's like raising in a bread pan versus just like baking all by itself in a Dutch oven, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very, very easy way to make it. And you can even like have it in the fridge for days and days if you like aren't getting to it yet. And it's not like it's going to be flat or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, but you don't have to make sourdough bread. Even just making regular bread is still going to be better for you, cheaper, and taste better.
I will say I like making sourdough because it is actually like easier than regular bread in my opinion.
That's what I think too.
Because you do it mostly by hand, and it's not a lot of vigorous mixing. When I say by hand, it's a lot of just like kind of do a quick mix, a little like stretch and fold, versus when I'm making regular bread, I have to get out my mixer and there's a lot more ingredients and like get the mixer dirty, more dishes. I don't know. Like for me,
and set aside like a whole afternoon for it.
It's literally easier to make sourdough, which
I agree.
I feel like if you don't make it, it does look really intimidating, but it is really easy once you get the hang of it. I know that I have been failing, so maybe I shouldn't be saying that. I have had really good loaves. It's just I'm on a bad streak, and maybe I need to switch to sandwich loaves just to switch it up. Yeah. This is something I've been doing this winter. Not super great, but I'm trying to be more intentional about it. Because we've been talking about seasonal depression. We were talking about that earlier. Is trying to still get sunshine. And I know I'm not, like, great at it, but so, like, when I say that, I'm saying, like, literally 2 minutes. So I don't know if it's making that big of a difference, but it's some like unfiltered vitamin D. And like sometimes like when I'm like walking out to my car or like I'm outside, just like trying to like just stop. I probably look stupid. Stop, and then I just kind of like lift my face towards the sun and like close my eyes. And like, you kind of feel like you're getting something. And when I am like I come back on my lunch break from work. And then usually about the time that I drive back, the sun is like kind of facing me in my window. Yeah. So I'll roll down my window a little bit. If you roll it down just enough, you don't feel any of the air, but I just feel like the sunlight coming in. And it's like warm.
Okay.
And it's unfiltered. That's a good idea. It's not going through like a window.
A toxic glass window.
No, I don't know that they're toxic.
I know, I'm just being dumb.
One more thing to be scared of. No, but it does filter out like some of that, so you're getting unfiltered sunlight.
Switching out my windows for organic glass windows. My last point I'm not even gonna say because I don't really even know the science behind it, and I don't I want to know. I don't know the science behind it necessarily. So
share it for kicks and giggles. To get you canceled.
But instead of like necessarily, I think it's just a simple way to get cleaner home products or like body products, like bath products, is just to buy the unscented version.
Okay, yeah. And well, then you're not getting fragrances.
Yes, or like naturally scented things. But I feel like it's hard to find a lot of like naturally scented things, so you could just get like the unscented version. I'm sure there's unscented stuff out there. I know I just bought an unscented conditioner. Okay. And yeah, but
that's
anyway,
a good idea.
Don't cancel me.
Honestly, I feel like probably most of you guys do agree. Maybe not.
You don't have to agree. This is just like habits that I guess have become important to me that I have tried to implement. Another one I was going to say, but it sounds like I'm tooting my own horn about the walking thing.
Oh, go ahead.
But I was like,
toot away.
But you were talking about habits we've implemented, and this is just like interesting looking back. So I had to put my dog down. He got put down, I don't know, this fall or summer. But since he was a beagle, he spent a lot of his life, I feel like he couldn't just run free until we got an electric fence for him. So I gave him walks a lot of the time. And so since when I got him,
which would be
like 8 years ago.
It was 2016. Yeah,
okay.
So
8 years ago probably.
Yeah.
I probably had him for I think I had him for around 8 years. Since when I guess I don't know when I started taking him on walks exactly, but I would take him on walks probably at least 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And so minus like trips and stuff, I think almost for 8 years I went on a walk every day, at least 5 days a week or so, I would say.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's interesting looking back, and that's something, even though he's gone now, I still really like to go. Even when I didn't have to take him on walks anymore, and I still like.
That's amazing.
It's good to go
health.
on walks every day. I feel like once we got an electric fence, I think maybe I slacked off on it for a little bit because I didn't actually have to take him on walks.
Yeah.
But it's still like, it is still something that I did then get back into, and I feel like it's just such a great way for me to start my day. I like to do it in the morning. I think it'd be harder. It is in the summer. It's fun in the evening. Sometimes Oliver and I would go on walks in the evenings, but it is, I feel like, a great way just to start your day. In the winter, I don't like to walk outside, so I literally just walk around in my home, which probably sounds really lame, but it works for me. I just set a timer and make laps around in my home, so I'm still getting my steps in. But I just feel like it's such an easy exercise to do. I feel like almost anyone can do it. You don't have to have all these special equipments. Sometimes I walk with weights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just, I feel like it's kind of crazy looking back as a habit that I've kind of kept up for 8 years or so of walking every day. But yeah, now it's just something that's just, it's not something I necessarily dread. It's just like, it feels like a good, productive way to start my day.
Yeah, that's a good, I need that. It's good
to be more like me and take walks. That's not what I just think. Oh, it's just kind of interesting how it started from like kind of my childhood, and it's just something that I've been able to keep implementing now. That is all I have.
I have 2 more. I'll make them brief. The one is I've been switching more to a little bit more natural fiber clothing, kind of because it's just higher quality, it's easier on your skin, and with it being higher quality, it's not as much. It's a little bit more ethical a lot of times. It's not as much of that fast fashion when you're buying something like really cheap in polyester that's going to last you 1 year. And I also just, maybe as I'm getting older, I think like maybe sensory things. Like I just, once you get on to like wearing those fabrics, I just feel like
I am not there yet. So I think this is interesting. I'm just like, that's not something I've like got into yet.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll ever
and
get into.
I am not like totally switched.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I ever will be. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I also, for me, it's a lot of just like cottons. Obviously, I would like to have more like linen and wool, but those are like really expensive, and I don't think you need to spend like tons of money, but just trying to like look at the quality and like, there's actually like a lot of science about the health of things. I haven't done tons of research. I've done a little bit, but it's definitely seems like it's kind of proven that it's better for you to wear.
And I think you do shop more mindfully too, like getting a few pieces each season or something versus just like finding all this cute stuff and buying it for the winter or summer or whatever. Yeah.
And then like it's cute, but then you realize a couple wears in it's like kind of itchy and it shrank. And another thing I've noticed this winter is that my clothes have just kept me really warm. Like especially like my tights. Like I got this like cotton pair of tights versus like, I don't know, like the spandex. Like they like once you
like mine.
Yeah. They feel like plastic, and there's like they just do not keep me as warm. So
I need to order a pair of those for work.
That's like another like thing that's helped get me through this winter is just like wearing really warm clothes.
Yeah.
And finding a little bit more of my winter style. But that's a whole different conversation. My last one is to do a prayer journal, which I am telling that kind of to myself because through my like seasons of my life, it's been like so good, especially during hard seasons, but it's something to keep up when you're not going through hard seasons, of course, as well, is just writing down the things that are on your heart. Because a lot of times, like looking back, you can just see like the ways that the Lord has really like answered your prayers. And a lot of times you forget sometimes the things that you've prayed for.
Definitely.
And I know like looking back, I'm like, oh my word, like if I could have seen the way that the Lord would provide for that need or whatever it was, it's also like a good way to pray and kind of get your thoughts out before the Lord. I haven't been lately because I lost my prayer journal, which is really annoying, and it was like this really like nice, cute leather one. So I need to just do it anyway. In one of the notebooks that I have, it doesn't have to be aesthetic or like really nice, but I really liked that prayer journal. So I feel like I've been like, man, I just really want to like write some of my thoughts down, but I'm like, I can't find it, and then I just don't. So, but it's been a very beneficial thing in my life, so I I need to implement that a little bit again. So that's all that I had.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Maybe you got a few tips, a little bit of inspiration. Yeah. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Sister Sip Podcast.
I think so.
If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. On Spotify and Apple, at least Spotify, I think you can leave comments too. I noticed
Apple
one.
too, I think.
Yeah, one comment. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
And if you do listen to this, give us a rating and review. It would mean a lot. Thank you so much for your support.